Hello grade 8, this is Tutor Marife. In this video, I'm going to tutor you on how to simplify expressions using the laws of exponents or the exponent rules. Okay, refresher tayo. Ano ba yung different laws of exponents? We have the zero exponent law, negative exponent law, product law, power of a product law, quotient law, power of a quotient law. What else? We also have the power to power law. Okay, so as we do each of the problem, we're going to discuss the statement for each law. Okay, so merong specification dito sa instruction na we have to express our final answers with positive exponents. Ganun kasi pag nagsisimplify ka ng expression. Kailangan ang final answer mo palaging naka-express in terms of positive exponents. So hindi ka pwedeng magbigay ng final answer na merong exponential terms or numbers with negative exponent. Laging positive dapat ang mga exponents sa final answer. Okay, so in number 1, we have 2x squared over 5x squared enclosed with parenthesis raised to the power of 2. Okay, so how do we simplify this expression? Step 1 is to apply the power of a product law in your denominator. Power of a product law. Ano yung power of a product law? If you have a product raised to a power, the power of a product law states that you have to raise each part of the product to that power. So yung tinutukoy na each part of the product ay yung factors ng product. So, x is the first factor of the product. You raise it to the power n. Times y is your second part or factor. You raise it to n. So, ito ang power of a product law. Gagamitin natin ito dito sa denominator. So, our next step dito is 2x squared over, so applying the power of a product law, our first part or first factor is 5. Raise it to 2. And our second part or second factor is x squared. You also raise it to 2. Yan. So, gumamit ito ng power of a product law. Next step is to apply the power to power law dito. Of course, itong 5 squared, i-evaluate mo na yan. So, that is 25. I-copy mo yung numerator mo to x squared. Ano naman yung power to power law? Ang power to power law is used when you raise a power to another power. So, for example, you have x raised to n and you raise it to another power, let's say m, the power-to-power law states that when you raise a power to another power, you copy the base and multiply the exponents. Yan. So, yun yung gagawin natin dito sa x squared squared. So, copy the base and multiply the powers or the exponents 4. Yan. What's next? Kapag meron kang numerical coefficients, parang elementary yan. We have a fraction 2 over 25. I-check mo, is it reducible? Hindi na. So, in case yung fraction mo is reducible, mag-reduce ka rin. Parang elementary. You always have to express fraction into simplest form or lowest term. So, eto na yung lowest term, 2 over 25. So, i-rewrite natin yan na 2 over 25 times x squared over x to the 4th power. So, dito naman, we're going to use the quotient law of exponent. Ano naman yung quotient law? When do you use the quotient law to simplify an expression? Quotient is the answer in division. So you use it when you are dividing two exponential terms with the same base. With the same base. Tandaan nyo na. So, kailangan pareho ang base para magamit mo ang quotient law. Of course, kung hindi the same ang base, you cannot use the quotient law. So, ano naman ang sinasabi ng quotient law? When you are dividing exponential terms with the same base, keep the common base or copy the common base and subtract the exponents. And when you subtract the exponents, it's the numerator exponent minus the denominator exponent. So let's apply the quotient law of exponent. We have 2 over 25 times, we keep the common base and we subtract the exponents. Numerator exponent minus denominator exponent. So it's equal to 2 over 25 x raised to, evaluate the difference. What's 2 minus 4? It's negative 2. So I assume na master na ang subtraction of integers. Paano yon? Paano naging negative 2 yan? 2 minus 4 becomes 2 plus negative 4. Ano ba kasi yung subtraction rule? You proceed to addition and change the sign of the subtrahend. And since you are adding two numbers with different signs, you subtract their absolute values. Absolute value of 2 is 2. Absolute value of negative 4 is 4. Subtract their absolute values, it's 2. And follow the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. Negative 4 has a greater absolute value. Its sign is negative, so you follow the negative sign. Okay? So, bumabalik ka ulit sa addition and subtraction of signed numbers. So, make sure na master mo yon. Next, express your final answers with positive exponents. So, hindi pwedeng mag-end ka sa ganitong sagot. gagamitan natin ito ng negative exponent law. Okay? The negative exponent law is actually like taking the reciprocal of the exponential term. And when you take the reciprocal of the exponential term, you are actually flipping or changing the position of the term. Pwedeng you transfer it from numerator to denominator, or you transfer the term from denominator to numerator. Ganun ang flipping, ang reciprocal. And flipping or changing position comes with changing sign of the exponent. So from being negative exponent, pag nag-change position, nagiging positive ang exponent. So ito yung law. If you have x raised to negative n, this is actually an invisible denominator of 1. So when you change position or you flip, yung 1 goes up, tapos the exponential term goes down. This becomes yung 1 na ang magiging numerator mo, the exponential term becomes your denominator, and the flipping or changing of position comes with changing the sign of the exponent. Your exponent is no longer negative n. It becomes positive n. Pag nag-transfer ka from numerator to denominator. Ganon din ang mangyayari if you transfer an exponential term from denominator to the numerator. So, sumasabay yung changing of sign of the exponent. So, let's apply the negative exponent law. X raised to negative 2 has invisible denominator of 1. So, we flip. So, this is like a fraction. Pag if-flip mo yan, magiging 2 over 25 times the exponential term becomes the denominator and the exponent becomes positive. Yung 1 goes up. Yan. Going back to multiplying fractions during your elementary, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, your final answer is 2 over 25x squared. This is the final answer. So as you can see, we have a positive exponent in our final answer. Okay? So, maraming laws ang nai-apply sa number 1. Ilang laws? Power of a product, power to power, quotient, negative. 4 laws ang applicable sa number 1. Okay? Number 2. Given expression is W raised to the power of negative 3 and y times y raised to negative 2. So, kung written side by side ang dalawang exponential terms, meron tayong invisible operation dyan na multiplication. So, we can rewrite this problem as W raised to negative 3 times y raised to negative 2. Itong raised dot is a symbol for multiplication. Okay? And we can also put the invisible denominator. W raised to negative 3 can be written as W raised to negative 3 over 1. So, itong y raised to negative 2, also has an invisible denominator of 1. So, isusulat natin. Okay? So, ang i-apply natin to simplify is the negative exponent law. So, we don't want negative exponents in our final answer. So, paano natin gagawing positive yung mga exponents? You flip the numerator and the denominator. So, magiging 1 ang numerator mo. So, mag-i-interchange yung position ng numerator and denominator mo. The exponential term becomes your denominator. And transferring the exponential term from the numerator to denominator comes with changing the sign of its exponent. So, its exponent becomes positive pag nasa denominator na siya. Same procedure with the second exponential term. You also flip to make the sign of its exponent positive. So, you flip or you swap the numerator and the denominator. Your numerator becomes 1 and your denominator becomes the exponential term with, this time, its exponent becomes positive. Okay? Elementary ulit, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Our final answer is 1 over w cubed y squared. So it's okay to write the two exponential terms side by side when you multiply them. This is our final answer for number 2. Okay, next problem. We have a group raised to 0. Okay? So, may grouping symbol tayo dito na parenthesis. This grouping symbol tells us that the whole quotient owns the exponent 0. So, itong 0 na to, i-apply mo sa buong group. At anong sinasabi ng zero exponent law? Your zero exponent law states that any base raised to 0 is always equal to 1. So whatever your base is, whether it's a single number, whether it's a product being grouped together, quotient being grouped together like this one, that is equal to 1. So actually, this is a one-step problem. 1 agad ang answer. Okay? So, please note the importance of the parenthesis in this problem. Kasi what if there is no parenthesis? So, yung problem mo magiging 2 over a plus b plus c. Tapos, may raised to 0 dyan. So, kung i-compare mo ito dito, anong difference? Walang grouping symbol ito, wala siyang parenthesis. So, ano ang magiging effect? Ang magiging effect ay yung ownership dito sa 0. Dito kasi, ang owner ng exponent 0 is the whole group because of the parenthesis. Pag nawala ang parenthesis, the owner of exponent 0 is the term or the number to its immediate left. So, since nandito, ang may-ari lang sa kanya is the numerator. So, ang magkakaroon lang ng value na 1 ay ito, the numerator. Parang ganyan yan. 2 raised to 0 equals A plus B plus C. This becomes 1 by zero exponent law, 1 over A plus B plus C. Compare the answers. So, magkaiba. So, be careful sa parenthesis. Kailangan naiintindihan mo yung malaking role ng parenthesis. Okay. So, ito yung answer for number 3. It's 1. Next, number 4. We have a product. So, it's 4 times the exponential term h raised to negative 3 enclosed with parenthesis tapos squared. Ano yung applicable law of exponent for this problem? Again, we have the power of a product law. Review natin ano yung power of a product law. If you raise a product to a power, you have to raise each part of the product to that power. So, 4 is the first part of our product. So, you raise it to 2. Our second part is h raised to negative 3. You also raise it to 2. So, yun yung power of a product law. Okay, what's next? Ito, evaluate mo lang. 4 squared is 16. Ito naman, gamitan mo na naman ng power to power law. Kasi, ang ipinapakita nito is a power raised to another power. So, you copy the base and multiply the exponents. So, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. We have a negative exponent. Express your final answer in terms of positive exponents only. So, we change position. Yung h raised to negative 6 mo is like h raised to negative 6 over 1. So, you flip. Yan. Magiging 16 times 1 over h, and your exponent becomes positive. This is also over 1. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So, we have 16 over h raised to 6. This is our final answer. Okay? Our last problem is 6a raised to 5 over 2e. 6e raised to 5 over 2e raised to 7. So, split up natin. This is also the same as 6 over 2 multiplied by e raised to 5 over e raised to 7. What's 6 over 2? It's equal to 3. Ito ay quotient law. Ano yung quotient law? And when do we use the quotient law? We use the quotient law when we are dividing two exponential terms with the same base. So, we have the same base. It's e. Ayun na pala. Nasulat ko na kanina. You keep the common base and subtract the exponents. numerator exponent minus denominator exponent. So it's 3 times, you keep the common base and subtract the exponents. Yan. So it's equal to 3e, what's 5 minus 7? Proceed to addition and change the sign of the subtrahend. So you have adding of signed numbers with different signs, subtract their absolute values, and follow the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. Negative 7 has a greater absolute value. So we follow its sign. This is negative. We have to make the exponent positive. Again, you put over 1 and flip to make the exponent positive. So this is the same as 3 over 1 times, flip the numerator and the denominator to make the exponent positive. Magiging positive to na yung exponent ng e. And then, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Yan. This is our final answer. Okay, so na-cover ba lahat ng power, ng laws of exponent? Actually, hindi na-cover ang... Actually, parang na-cover din dito ang power of a quotient law dito sa number 3. Ano ba kasi ang power of a quotient law? Power of a quotient law. The power of a quotient law states that if you have a quotient, yan, x over y, raised to a power, raise each part of the quotient to that power. So this is the power of a quotient law. So if we're going to apply the power of a quotient law to number 3, 2 over a plus b plus c raised to 0. We raise each part of the quotient to that power. So, ang first part mo is the numerator. It's 2 raised to 0. Your second part is the denominator. You have the sum of a, b, and c raised to 0. Yan. And then we apply the zero exponent law. So, this base raised to 0 is 1. This base raised to 0 is also 1. And what's 1 over 1? It's equal to 1. Yan. So, pag ginamit natin ang power of a quotient law sa number 3, nagamit natin sa buong problem set na ito yung laws of exponents natin. Nagamit lahat. Okay? Of course, may mga solutions dito na napahaba dahil ginawa nating detalyado yung process. Meron actually dito na pwedeng ma-shortcut para umiksi yung solution niya. And you will arrive at the same final answer. Kaya lang, sa ibang videos na lang yon para hindi ma-confuse yung ibang viewers na nangangapa pa lang dito sa application ng laws of exponents. Ano yan pwedeng mong i-apply ang shortcut solution dito. Sa number 5, saan pa ba? at dito sa number 1 para mababawasan yung succeeding steps hanggang makuha mo yung final answer. Iiksi pa dapat ito. Okay? Pero for now, eto lang muna para masundan ng mga hindi pa masyadong na-master ang laws of exponents. Okay, that's all for this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's Tutor Marife MCP. And please don't hesitate to send problems for a detailed explanation of its solution. Not only for grade 8 but also for other grade levels. Everyone is welcome to send problems. Okay? Pero please be advised na I am discouraging students who send problems and only interested with the answers and not interested with learning the process of finding the answer. So, hindi po ito for the purpose of spoon-feeding the students. Its purpose is to help those who struggle in a certain topic. Okay? So, maraming salamat.